Let's talk about Glassway. So Glassway used to be the hardest gym in the game, in my opinion. I know some people will be like, corrupted, Garden World. That's fine. It's opinionated. It's okay. You can have different answers, alright? Simmer down. Calm down! Alright. So, GM Glassway, I think this season anyway, is being overshadowed by Lightblade. On top of that, I think Void 3.0 and the current artifact mods that we have made Glassway significantly easier than it used to be. You remember throwing stasis at them and the Overload Minotaurs would stun and unstun 800 times in a row and then you couldn't stun them and then they would shoot you and then you would die? Yeah, great times. Great times. So, that coupled with the fact that we have Acute Burn now, and yes, Acute Burn does actually help you, believe it or not, providing you 25% extra damage to your weapons. So yes, that helps. The boss is not that bad. So I'm going to go over the pain points of the Nightfall. I'm not going to waste people's time and be like, go jump on this ledge and kill this Vandal Sniper and jump on this ledge and do this. I'm just going to go over the, I guess the hard blocks where people might get stuck or just be annoyed by, you know, a dumb mechanic. I'm looking at you, you stupid fallen sniper guy who falls off the ledge and then teleports back up with a sniper, you son of a... Let's just get started. First up, character-wise, you don't need to be forced to run anything at all. You can run basically whatever you want. However, I would recommend at least one person be running Void 3.0. Particularly Warlocks, you don't really need to hide in your World of Radiance, and also Titans, you don't need to hide behind Ursas, but you could still run Banner Shield because Void 3.0. The reason I say this is because mainly if your team doesn't have a Divinity, which is by far still the most consistent Overload stun in the game, if your team doesn't have Divinity, your Overload nades from Void 3.0 spamming is going to come really handy, especially if Warlocks run Controverse holds, and essentially you stun an Overload Minotaur in the boss room with your grenade, you'll probably get like 80% or more back on your grenade charge, allowing you to stun multiple Minotaurs in quick succession, not worry about stunning one and then running away from the other one. So that's the suggestion there, character-wise. I will say, however, that if you or your teammates have Divinity, you should definitely run it. It just makes your life much easier, and you don't have to play kind of a predict game with the Minotaurs. Like, if you know where they are, you just shoot them with Div, they will guarantee stun, and you nuke them. As with grenades, you can stun them, yes, but if you don't immediately nuke them, or you miss your headshots with a sniper or whatever, then it can get a little dicey. So Div is still the popular choice, but you can get it done with Overload nades too. Weapon-wise, in terms of heavy, obviously it's Void Singe, so you should look out for Void weaponry. Out the gate, Threaded Needle, probably your by far best option for this Nightfall if you kept a Threaded Needle from the past. One with Vorpal, maybe a Clown Cartridge, maybe auto-loading, whatever it may be, it's the go-to for this, definitely. You could use something like a rocket launcher, but obviously rockets are nowhere near as good as linear fusions. Deathbringer is an interesting option for this Nightfall, but again, it's a rocket launcher, not quite as good as a Threaded Needle, but if you don't have Threaded Needle, then, well, your options are kind of limited, and Deathbringer might be one of those options because it's easy access to get. Outside of those choices, you have the generic options, Galahorn, Reed's Regret, etc., etc., and then in the energy / primary slot, if you have a Void particular weapon that you want to run for this Nightfall that includes Overload and or Barrier, then you just run that. So, for example, like Funnel Web for SMG, Gnawing Hunger for Auto Rifle, they're both Void. I think you're getting the idea. If you run a Scout Rifle, you could run Vouchsafe, which you can now farm at the War Table to get a good roll. Explosive rounds on a Vouchsafe is nuts. It's amazing. There's also another option of running Vision of Cornflakes. You may have heard of it. I've mentioned it once or twice on my streams and maybe even made a whole video of it. It's not Void, but it is the best scout in the goddamn game, and I will die on this hill, and I will fight you behind Walmart. This scout, with the proper roll of Weeble rounds, yes, that's what I call them Weeble rounds, plus basically any good damage perk, Firefly, Disruption Break, and high caliber rounds, will literally take enemies' heads off. Anything that's not like a champion or a yellow bar, their necks will snap back every time that you hit them with this scout. It's amazing, it has great perks, it's just S tier out the gate. So if you have one of those, you can run that. Otherwise, run Vouchsafe or even the new Throne World Scout Rifle that you can get your hands on with the Witch Queen expansion. And for your energy weapon, you have a couple of options here. First off, Arbalist obviously is the instant stun for any anti-barrier champions. Given that they made anti-barrier a little more chunky when you're using your primary, like a primary scout, to break that shield. Arbalest obviously makes it much easier with a single shot breaking their shield, so that's an option there. Then you have the old school option of like Succession. You could run Izanagi's Burden. People used to do that with Div all the time, so that's still an option. And then my personal favorite pick, but I am not gonna, tell people to like guarantee run this. My personal favorite is Agar's Scepter because it just clowns 90% of this Nightfall. If you're watching this video, some of the footage might be here where I'm just clowning everything with Agars, barrier champions included, and it's good in everywhere, basically except for Final Boss DPS, but realistically, in this Nightfall, Final Boss DPS is the last thing that you should be worrying about. Once you kill everything else, DPS will just come and you kill the boss easily. Agars takes care of all of that, and then even in the boss room, he can actually use... I just refer to a gun as a he. It can use its Catalyst perk and activate it with your super, and then freeze up the mini-me that goes around the arena with the final boss, and kind of get him the hell out of there immediately, or freeze him up to let your teammates shoot him, and get him out to start the next wave. Sometimes you might want to do a double wave, like for example, you want to do all 4 Minotaurs at once, just to kind of fall them in with a super overload grenade, etc., etc. Some teams do that, some other teams just go slow, it's up to you. But Agars is really, really strong in this Nightfall up to the boss. Again, if you're not experienced with it, you don't run it and just stick to like RB or a sniper. But I did want to mention it because it is nutty. We're going to fast forward to the boss room because essentially that's what most people only care about. I'm sure they don't need that much help explaining how to beat the shanking counter where you're standing on a plate the whole time. So for the final boss, your main 2 spots are going to be far left inside the cubicles or at the gate spawn, depending on the timing of the fight, or the right middle staircase for DPS. I'll explain why, but let's just start at the left side first. As the fight begins, once you kill that Overlord Captain, which you should kill last, by the way, after the dregs, you want to go travel all the way far, far left. The reasoning I say this is because how the boss fight starts is the boss comes down, but he's very slow. He's not going to immediately aggro you because you're behind some wall cover, and you have a direct line of sight onto the left portal where the Minotaur comes out. Here, you can just throw an Overload nade or have a Divinity ready and just spawn kill that Minotaur right away so you don't have to deal with 2 Minotaurs inside the cubicle. Once you kill that Minotaur, you can just go inside directly right next to you, and then the mini-me will be coming in, and you can just go freeze it or nuke it, whatever you want to do, and then just be ready for 1 more Minotaur instead of looking for 2 of them. Sometimes if you have 2, they can split up and then give you the 1-2 buckle my shoe from behind. So that's what you do for the first initial part. Get the mini-me down, the mini-me will spawn reinforcements, you'll get 2 more Minotaurs that come at you, and you're basically going to be inside the left side the entire time, looking at the center middle doorway, and then looking to your right, because typically that's the only 2 spots the Minotaurs come from. They don't really come from the left side, in my experience, and I've done this GM a lot. So, once you get the Minotaurs down, you'll be down 4 Minotaurs, and your next step will be just damaging the boss. So what you want to do here is that you want to aggro the boss to the left side, make sure he's shooting that left side, and you're going to use this timing to just run out towards the middle, and then go to that middle right staircase that I mentioned earlier. The reason for this is, if you stay on the left side, your options of actually damaging the boss at a reasonable pace is basically 0. If he sees you, he's going to start shooting you. You're going to get like 1 tiny shot off, and then you have to hide, otherwise he insta-kills you. What you do on the right staircase here is basically use the cover to your advantage and just keep peeking basically with your head out and shoot him in the face the entire time. You can use your primary, you could use surplus, sniper ammo, whatever you want to use. Then get the first bar down on the boss. He's going to leave, and you can do this in like maybe, I don't know, 60 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever it may be. Whereas if you stayed on the left, you could have taken like 5 minutes for all you know. Once he leaves, the next wave starts, which is going to be wyverns and barriers. From here, you have 2 options. You can either try to look towards the left portal from the center, which you can do, and try to nuke that first wyvern immediately, or you just fall back to the left side and do the exact same formation that you did for the Minotaurs if you're just comfortable being there the entire time. Additionally, what you could do in the center strat is put up a banner shield and then have your teammates killing the wyverns while you have the banner shield up, and then just get rid of the first 2 wyverns and then continue the fight. So you could either just nuke 2 wyverns and go left, or just immediately go left and, do the same old strat, rinse, repeat. And then you get 4 wyverns down, and then the mini-me will be shooting you. You get him down, and then the process will repeat. You kill 4 wyverns and 4 barriers, or 2 and 2, and then you're going to get the next wave of minotaurs to spawn. So the boss will be up, minotaurs will spawn. This next wave, the boss will actually immune at 50%, so you won't really be able to abuse the middle strat if you want to be killing the minotaurs in that left cubicle. So you're going to have to stay on the left side if you are only basically comfortable with killing minotaurs there. If you're comfortable with killing minotaurs from the middle and watching your right door, then I would recommend that. Otherwise, just stick to old reliable. Now, once you've dealt with all the minotaurs, you can try applying that middle strat once again. Now that the arena is empty, kite the boss to the left, and then use that to run to the middle, and use the right staircase as your DPS position to get the boss down to the last 33%. Now, once you've gotten him down to that, he'll leave temporarily and then come back. This time, the wyverns will be showing up with the boss included and the mini. So in this case, I don't recommend you trying to stay in the middle to try to kill the wyverns, regardless if you have Ursas or not. Just go ahead and play it safe. Go to the left side, deal with the wyverns one by one, and the mini if you can. Or if you're just nutty, just deal with the mini boss right away, and then spawn all the wyverns together, and then funnel them and just kill them outright. Now, once you're in the left side and you have dealt with the wyverns and you have a little breathing room, and you've killed the mini, all you have left in the arena will be the boss and 4 barrier champions. So, for this part, you can either do it normally and just kill the barriers and then kill the boss, if you would like, or you can do the strat of just speedrunning this, and all you do is get the boss very low in health, and then just tag each barrier champion one time with a bullet or a grenade or whatever, and then what happens is, because you tagged the barrier champions and you've gone ahead and killed the boss, the game will still register the strike ending and killing the barrier champions with the final boss, thus still giving you the platinum reward, even though you technically didn't kill any of them. Don't know why this is still in the game, but it does still work. Maybe Bungie doesn't feel like patching it, I don't know. But I thought I'd mention it, just to make people's lives easier for that final phase, and to get your Glassway clear. So that's it. That's all I got for Glassway. Like I mentioned, not quite as hard as Lightblade, but probably the second hardest GM this season. I don't think this is easier than Birthplace of the Vile. I know some people say the boss room is hell over there, but I just don't agree. That'll be a whole separate video. Spoiler alert, it's about resilience. I'm tired of people not using fucking resilience! Okay, I'm calm. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope the guide helps you. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help the channel. Much appreciated. Also, stream daily on Twitch, including GM help, twitch.tv/SneakyBeaver every day. Catch you in stream, catch you in the next video, or maybe both. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm kind of crazy. All right, I'm ending the video now. Goodbye.